created a video back in November, and it was basically kind of a haul video. And I was talking about my Laura Geller. I got some Laura Geller foundation. I was also talking about the Fiera. This is the luxury concealer. I don't know if you can, hopefully you can see that. This is the Fiera luxury concealer with hyaluronic acid and collagen, and this is in the shade Sand. I picked this up. I think I got it for like $24 on Amazon. I do not like the shade. I still like the formula, but I do not like the shade. I am going to use this on half of my face, and then I'm going to use my Laura Geller, my Baked Balance and Brighten foundation in the shade Medium over my whole face, but one side will have concealer and one will not. And you can see the difference. I like using concealer more than not using concealer, but to be fair, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison. So let's start there. This is very, very thick. I mean, it is thick. So I just use, like, I start out with just a tiny, tiny little bit. I warm it in my fingers. So I warm it up, and then it's actually not a bad shade match. It covers really well. It's not a bad shade. I think though that the reason why I'm not super happy with it is because it's a little bit too pale. And so if I want to wear it by itself, I just don't feel like it's that great of a shade match. But the good news is I can always warm it up with bronzer. So I'm just going to go ahead and just put this on just the rest of the other half of my face. So I've got it on half of my face, not using, half of my face, not using a lot, because I want to give, even though I'm doing only Laura Geller on one side, I want to give Laura Geller a chance even with the concealer. I'm going to use this for a little tiny bit of this for primer on my eyelid. Actually, I'm going to use just a little bit more concealer on this side, even though it's doing such a good job. I'm just going to be super careful with that, not use too much, trying to be really gentle with that and patting it in there. This is the Fiera Luxury Concealer. I love the formula. All right, so let's get down to the Laura Geller Baked, Balance, and Brighten. This is in the shade Medium. Now, I had gotten this in a kit that came with the foundation, the brush, a blush, and highlighter. It was a very good deal, and I wanted to try it again. I remember using the foundation in the past, and I really liked it, so I wanted to try it again. It's not a thick formula, and if you just want to put something on your face and leave and not have to deal with a lot of makeup application, this is the reason why I like it. So this is the kabuki brush that it came with, and you can make it more firm or light. I start out with it firm, and then I like to press it down and, get a good amount there, and then swirl it. I'm going to start on my nose because that seems to be where I have the most discoloration, except for under my eyes. So my nose is a little bit red. So I'm going to try it. Now I'm going to start on this side under my eyes and see how it does to color correct. This is supposed to color correct as well. So it does a fair job for color correction. It's a good foundation, but like I said in the past, it's not Superman. I mean, when you've got aging skin and a lot of discoloration, it's not Superman, it's foundation. So I actually pushed it up a little bit more. I made it a little less dense, and I'm going to go back over the area and buff it. I can see my skin's turning a little bit red there because of the pressure that I'm using. But okay, what do you think? Can you see the difference under my eyes now? The color correction? I can. So it works pretty darn well by itself. I am looking in a mirror. Looking in the camera looks a little bit different than in person. So now I'm going to come over here and swirl a little bit of this. I love the idea that I can put something on my skin that's not going to settle in lines and wrinkles and, you know, look scary later on. I don't like that. Okay, I've pushed the brush up a little bit more. And I'm going to go for the forehead area. I have been so bothered, really bothered, by how deep my lines are on my forehead, right? Especially right here and right here. And that's the worst area is right here. And I have a lot of pores. And I have used Botox in the past, and I'm going to tell you, I really liked it. And I will do it again. I will pay the money to do it again. If it makes me feel better, I'll do it again. Like I said earlier, trying not to obsess about the aging process, but also not giving up. So if it's something that I can do and it makes me feel better, I'm doing it. But if I can't, I mean, if it's like one of these things, it's just absolutely no way can I do it. You know, keeping the mindset that just because I have deep lines between my eyes and deep lines on my forehead and a bunch of pores and other issues going on, being a almost 61-year-old, I don't want to be sad about it. That is the coverage for the Laura Geller. What do you think? Can you see the difference with concealer versus no concealer? I can. There's a difference, but it does look better than it did when I started, if I don't mind. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to now use this Laura Geller Baked Blush and Brighten blush. This is in the shade Tropical Hues. Very, very pretty. It also has a little bit of shimmer, so I'm going to be super careful with this one. I need to use a light hand, so for this, I'm going to use this. This is a Pharmacy brand dual end face brush, and this is really, really light. So I'm just going to plop it on there just super light. I don't want to use too much of this because it does have shimmer, and I don't want a lot of shimmer on my face, but it is very pretty. Just the right rich shade. Can you see how shimmery that is? Very pretty. Put it over here. I am a non-traditional blush applier. Once in a while, I will start up at the top, up here, and then move it down. But I like to bring the color. Boy, do I need to do my roots. I like to bring it, you know, sort of, and warm up my face everywhere with it. Makes me happy to do that. And then along my neck a little bit. Just applying that. And I really like that.